Welcome back to I've Got Something to Tell You with Tayler and
Colleen.
It's our 50th episode.
It's our 50th episode. We're so excited.
Do you want to tell them where we are?
We are celebrating. If you guys have been listening to us from the beginning, or you're, I guess, brand new, we'll tell you. But we are at Hanny's in downtown Phoenix celebrating our 50th episode. Hanny's has a history and a haunted history. But if you guys, again, have been listening from the beginning, this is where we saw the dolls in the basement.
It was our bonus episode of the spirit box from...
Our very first spirit box.
Yeah, our very first spirit box. And we did a haunted tour. And we stopped at Hanny's. And there's a basement with a bunch of dolls beneath us right now.
Haunted dolls, yeah.
And they're waiting for Colleen.
Yep.
Because after we're done recording, we're going to go down there and she's going to let us in. And I'm going to lock Colleen in there.
Just give away your whole plan from the beginning.
I couldn't keep it in.
Don't.
Anyway, number 50.
And that's when I quit the podcast.
Betrayal.
Yeah. I trusted you.
Sorry. So, yeah. Wait, do we want to go over anything with Handy's or no? No. Okay. So, wait, do you care who goes first?
No, but I think it's our 50th freaking episode. What has been your favorite thing to do since our 50 episodes? You're just like glossing over this whole like milestone.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Okay, it's just very exciting right now, Okay, one of my, like, what?
I don't know, just favorite things we've done with the podcast.
Oh my God, there's so many. I mean, I love that we started the podcast.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I feel like the live shows so far have been my favorite now. And getting to meet people. And just, I mean, even right now, like the woman that you've been talking to is really cool.
Yeah.
And like let us up to have like the entire upstairs. And it's just so we get to meet these cool people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like that's my favorite thing.
I agree. I feel like it's been really cool. Like, after the live shows, or even just like when talking to like friends or family about the podcast, like everybody has a story.
Yeah.
Like, and that's been really cool.
Even people you don't like think would have a story.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everybody has something to tell you.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun, like getting to kind of like share the things that we've always talked about. And then like people feel comfortable like share like
telling us.
It's not taboo, you know what I mean? So that's been really cool.
Yeah, I know. I like that too. And it's still fun.
Yeah.
It's still really fun for me. Like I love looking up these stories. You love looking up yours.
Yeah.
So it's like almost a year later, I feel like I still don't know the stories you're gonna tell me. And I'm like, what you gonna tell me? Especially when you're like, oh, you're really gonna like this one. I'm like, what is it?
Yeah. Yeah, the researching is really fun. Finding stories that like I've never heard before has been really cool. Or like being like, oh my God, I forgot about this one. And like being able to like, it's like, you know, when you find a TV show and you're so excited about the TV show, and then you're just like, oh my God, I forgot about this. But it's like watching that TV show for the very first time and getting that like excitement all over again.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a dumb comparison.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Because I mean, I feel like I feel that way when you haven't heard something that I'm talking about. I mean, aside from ghosts, because I know sometimes those are scary for you, but other things were like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's my favorite one so far. I'm like, I got to tell it to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a journey.
For sure. And we've got tons more stuff coming, but we're just excited we hit 50.
Yeah. I know. I feel like we have so many more things coming.
Yeah.
And just when so it's like a year's worth of stories, and I feel like there's still so many more to tell.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Because when I was looking at the one for tonight, because I wanted to do like an Arizona-based one, obviously, because we're in an Phoenix bar. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that one. I was like, I want to do them all.
I know.
I'm like, I'll cover them.
I think I've
got plenty of time.
Yes, exactly. Like, I think I've told you a million times I have like a Google Doc with like all of the ones I want to cover.
That is actually really smart.
Just because like I'll forget something.
Type A.
Yeah. Yeah, type A. But like I'll like write, like I'll just put it into my Google Doc. So like if I'm struggling to like think of something, I can go in and be like, oh, maybe I want to do this one this time. But also, do you feel like the story just like has to hit right for you that day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because we were talking before we came here, and I had one prepared, and I was just like, like, it's all right. Like, it's a cool story, but I was like, it's just not it.
Yeah.
Like, I need something else. So, yeah, I get that. And I mean, the good thing is we got plenty to choose from.
Yeah, exactly.
So, heck yeah.
All right. Well, no, I don't care who goes first. So you choose.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
You talked me into it.
Well, sometimes I can tell if you don't want to go first, and I could kind of tell you wanted to go first.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it really annoying? I'm
No,
like,
it's never annoying. It's just like sometimes I know you don't want to say it.
Like, I see it in her eyes.
Yeah, but like if you really don't want to go first, you'll continue to ask me.
I love that you noticed that.
Yeah.
First of all. And I feel like we only do that mostly with like the live shows because it's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, Colleen, I've got something to tell you. And so I'm covering the Rosson House.
The what? Oh,
The one that we saw on the haunted tour.
yeah. I just didn't hear you the first time.
Oh, okay. Over the music. I'm like, the Rosson.
Say it again for the people in the back.
I yell it over the balcony. You're like, okay, get out of here.
Yeah.
So when me and Colleen did that haunted tour, one of the first couple stops, I think, was the Rosson House.
Mm-hmm.
And it stands out.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's like grand.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is.
And we didn't get to go inside, but we got to hear some history and we got to walk around it. And I do want to go like on an actual tour one day that lets you inside.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were there, our tour guide showed us a picture, which we weren't allowed to take a picture of because it was their personal one. But it was a picture of the group, and there's a woman like standing in the door, and she was wearing like a straight up like Victorian gown and looked ghostly.
Yeah. And he took the picture himself.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought he did.
He probably did.
Yeah.
Because then that would make sense why he's like, it's my picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, so me and Colleen have been there. So let's start with the history before we get into the spooky shit.
Okay.
Okay, so it was constructed in 1895 for the prominent Rosson family. The Rosson House now operates as a museum, but its past may not be at rest. Reports of paranormal activity include apparitions of a murdered caretaker, doors that lock by themselves, moving objects, and a fireplace that emits ghostly heat or lights on its own. So the house is in the stick Eastlake Queen Anne style of Victorian architecture. It was designed by San Francisco architect Alexander Petit. It has a beautiful red brick, a dark green trim, and a pale yellow roof. It's really unique, and it is a beautiful building. I highly recommend looking it up. So anyway, Dr. Roland Rosson, a military physician and surgeon previously being stationed in Virginia, was then stationed in Arizona, where he would eventually move into the Rosson House with his wife, Flora Bell Murray. I love that name.
I know.
I felt like you would too when I wrote it out. Flora
I
Bell.
love that.
So cute.
Have you been watching the new Vanderpump? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Venus?
Mm-hmm.
Love that name too.
Cool ass name.
Yeah.
I feel like it matches him too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, when you name your kid, like, how do you know they're gonna be so cool to like have that?
Yeah, he pulls
you know
it
what
off.
I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, you look like a Venus.
Yes. But sorry, I didn't mean.
No, you're good. So after his army service ended, he worked as a medical officer at a prison and later got involved in politics and ran for mayor in the Democratic Party, and he won.
Oh, good for him.
Less than a year later, he decided he was tired of being a mayor, and he resigned, saying he was just basically like over it.
Yeah.
Which I get it.
Yeah.
A year later, they sold the Rosson House for $10,000 and moved back to Los Angeles, California. A year after that, he passed away unexpectedly. It wasn't unusual at that time for people to die at an early age, which I feel like we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
The odd thing about his death is the timing of him buying life insurance, though. I feel like you would like that. I'm like, Colleen can do some research
He
into
bought
that.
life insurance on himself.
It said he did. So maybe someone persuaded him to.
That's what I think.
I don't know.
Yeah. Flora?
Flora Bell. What are you up to, girl? So A lot of people speculated that it was a possible murder.
Mm-hmm.
And it was said that he had symptoms of being poisoned, but when tested, the results came back as inconclusive. But they said he had like some kind of like acute gastritis. But I feel like that could be symptoms of a lot of things. So
I have no idea what that is.
It's like your stomach.
Oh.
Yeah. Being inflamed.
Or they just paid the doctor off.
That is true.
Yeah.
We love a conspiracy.
Solved it.
I know. Let's just have all the different kinds of stories in one
Mm-hmm.
for our 50th episode. Okay, well, let's move on. So as old as this building is, a lot of the hauntings stem from a more recent tragedy. Before becoming a museum, the Rosson House changed ownership several times and eventually operated as a boarding house, falling into disrepair by the mid-20th century. Nailed it. One of its most notable residents was Kai Speedy Skamberg. Kai, like Kai,
Yeah.
but then his nickname is Speedy.
I love that.
For
Wait.
some reason no, he's...
I know. I said it too soon.
I know where you're going with that. Anyway, you'll love this. He was a retired unicycle performer.
I love that.
So maybe that's why he was speedy. He was speeding on his unicycle.
Whenever we did the Portland, I feel like we used to invite you and you were always like, no. Because it was like it's like a 40-mile bike ride over all the bridges in Portland. And every year we would do it as a family.
Mm-hmm.
There was always a guy on a unicycle, which is like the most Portland thing ever. But like there was this seriously, because there's this one hill that is like absolutely killer, and he would just be like cruising up it.
Oh my God.
And I was like, well, he only has one wheel, so it's easier.
I'm like, sir, you do this every day.
Yeah.
Don't like he's like, that's my first time on a unicycle. Heck no.
He was.
I don't think you invited me to that, but I think you know that I wouldn't do that. So
Yeah.
it's okay.
Okay. Do you want to go do it?
No.
Okay.
I'll drive up it and wave to you.
Okay.
Okay, so he was a retired unicycle performer who moved into the house as a boarder in the 1960s. The city of Phoenix purchased the property in 1974. Speedy was asked to remain on as a caretaker during its restoration. He lived nearby in a small trailer on the grounds of what is now Heritage Square Park, and quickly became a beloved fixture of the museum, known for his vibrant personality and enthusiastic tours. On January 24th, 1981, Speedy closed and locked the Rosson House for the night, unaware it would be the last time.
Oh no.
He wasn't fast enough for this one. Just kidding. That was rude.
I hope he haunts you.
We're like real close by to it, so
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that.
You
Sorry,
look in
Speedy.
your rearview mirror on the way home. There's a unicycle chasing you.
Just the unicycle, no person on
Yeah.
it. Okay. After returning to his trailer, he encountered an intruder and was fatally shot at close range.
Oh no.
With no solid leads and little taken, the case went cold and Speedy's murder was never solved. You could solve Speedy's murder.
Good.
You want to take on the challenge?
Yeah.
Okay, you got 2 murders in this one story that you could solve.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you're
I
welcome.
solved one of them already.
Which, that one was like obvious,
Yeah.
right? Okay, well, Speedy's waiting. So, Speedy's apparition has been seen around the house, but most commonly near the staircase. Tourists and museum guides report seeing his shadowy figure dart around out of the corner of their eyes, while others have gotten more detailed glimpses of him running up and down the stairs.
He just can't stop moving.
He's just like going up and going down,
Yeah,
going
he's
up
got
and
his
going down.
gotta get his exercise in.
Imagine staying there and hearing all those like the feet,
Yeah.
like, like Speedy, shut the
Chill.
fuck up.
Take a rest day.
Take a day off, man. So people also hear heavy footsteps around the staircase. Though no figure would appear, these phantom footsteps also have been heard in other areas of the house. Phantom footsteps are creepy as fuck, especially if it's like the floor above you. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's ever happened to you. Have you ever heard like footstep?
Mm-mm.
I think I told you this before when I was at my friend's house. And Michelle. And she would always tell me about like they had a ghost, and I was like, okay. And then one time there was like footsteps running up and down the hallway. And I was like, is anyone up there? And they're like, no. And they're like, that's what we're talking about. It happens all the time.
I love how you just immediately doubt, though.
Well, that was Tayler in the high school era.
Yeah.
She didn't want to believe.
True.
I was a big scaredy cat. I still kind of am, but way big of a wuss at that time. So museum employees also say that the caretaker's ghost will sometimes play pranks on them. One of the most common is that the doors will reportedly lock from the inside without explanation, leaving workers to search around for old keys to unlock them. And side note, that is the title of our first episode, A Door That Locks from the Inside. Or the second one. It's the first or the second one.
Yeah.
At other times, workers report small objects and pieces of exhibits moving to different exhibits without other exhibits. I feel like that was a lot of exhibits in one sentence.
Exhibits. Exhibiting is happening.
Without reason or known cause. Most people around the museum chalk this up to the spirit of the caretaker just entertaining himself, which probably, I'm sure gets boring.
Yeah.
He gets tired of running those stairs, so he's got to switch it up.
I love that he plays pranks.
I do too. One of the more unusual paranormal reports tied to the Rosson House involves its fireplaces, which are infamous for producing unexplained heat. Though the fireplaces are almost never used, visitors and staff have felt intense warmth radiating from them.
I was just thinking though, they're like, it's unexplained. It's like literally like a fireplace that's on there.
They're like, where is the heat coming
it's
from?
Hot. What's happening?
It's unsolved.
It's unsolved. It's unexplained. They're like,
it must be the Arizona heat.
Yep.
I don't know.
They're like,
but if the ghost is lighting the fire during the summer, that's not cool, man.
A cruel prank.
You're trying to, that is, maybe he does that on a bad day.
Yeah.
But, so with the fireplace, witnesses claim that it ignites on its own. I think we all know where I was getting at.
Yeah.
Without being seen. Anyway, moving on. So, as I mentioned, the house was passed through several owners. One of them was a couple by the name of William and Lillian Whipple. They raised their children at the house during the Great Depression and World War II era, and their daughter died very young from an illness. It's said that among the other spirits in the home that a young girl also haunts the halls, and children's laughter is frequently reported when there are no children around. It's also typically upstairs, which is where her room would have been.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit most often reported, aside from Speedy at the Rosson House, is believed to be Flora, the woman who deeply loved the home and was heartbroken when she lost it. She is described as an elegant figure in a Victorian dress, appearing in the parlor, the master bedroom, and the gardens she once carefully tended. So, I feel like going back to what the story in the beginning where the tour guide took the picture, I feel like it could have been anyone, but I feel like it would be her.
Yeah.
That was her house. She's like right in front being like, my house. Staff say her presence is often announced by the unexplained scent of roses or old-fashioned perfume.
Aww.
She is thought to be attentive to the home's upkeep, with workers reporting a sense of approval or disapproval depending on how certain rooms are maintained. Flora's spirit has allegedly been seen adjusting objects on mantels and tables, standing at windows overlooking the gardens, or moving gracefully through the parlor as if welcoming guests. Witnesses often describe a lingering feeling of sadness mixed with peace, as though she is both mourning her past and content to be in her home.
Aww.
In one account, a tourist reported seeing Flora's reflection in a mirror during a tour, a woman in a high-collared dress standing behind the group, only for her to vanish when they turned around, a sight several guests later confirmed. Even though they made her sound lovely in the beginning, I don't want to see anyone in the mirror behind me.
Yeah, no.
Like, don't do that, please.
Nope.
Dr. Rosson's spirit is reported less often than his wife's, but is said to linger in areas closely tied to life, especially his former study and the turret room. Witnesses describe him as a well-dressed gentleman in late 19th century clothing, sometimes seen seated at his desk. Staff has reported sounds of paper shuffling and drawers opening as if he's still working hard.
Oh. Also, give it a rest. You and Speedy.
I know.
Take a day off.
Okay, I would not want to be doing like paperwork in the afterlife.
No,
that
absolutely
sounds,
not.
That sounds like hell.
Yeah.
No, thank you. But maybe he loved his work. I don't know.
Yeah.
His presence is most often noted during tours that focus on his life and contributions, which I love. He just shows up when they're like, oh, it's my turn. He vanishes right after. He's like, okay. So when that happens, people sense someone behind them, and visitors occasionally capture shadowy figures in photographs. So they're like, oh, there was somebody there.
Yeah.
So visitors at Heritage Square often report seeing a woman standing in the windows at the Rosson House, most commonly in the turret room or the second floor bedroom at dusk or early evening. The figure is usually motionless, appearing to watch the street below, which that is creepy. Somebody just standing there watching. That spirit, their identity isn't confirmed, but a lot of people speculate it could be many different women that own the house over the years, kind of like we were saying earlier. We don't know exactly.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they know what Flora looks like, so I think that's why they're like,
Yeah.
they can identify her.
Yeah. Well, and then the like perfume and stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it happens to go with her. And I'm sure they've done ghost hunting and stuff to actually confirm that.
Confirm
They're not
her,
just
yeah.
like, she wears rose perfume. Photographs taken from outside the house have captured what appears to be a translucent figure in otherwise empty windows. And security cameras have recorded unexplained movement in the turret room after hours, including shifting curtains and passing shadows, despite no one being inside. So, kind of crazy that even their, like, security cameras kind of validate the woman in the window.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the Rosson House.
That's crazy.
And you can book tours at the house. You can book through, I think, the actual house. You can book through ghost tours. And we highly recommend it. We did it, and it was fun.
Yeah.
I feel like the house really does have a presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
Thank you. A lot of distractions going on. So
That's all right. All right, take a quick break and then we'll be back.
okay.
We are back. And Tayler, I've got something to tell you.
Yay.
So, the episode before this, we did like a little flashback where we went back and picked our favorite stories each other has covered.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a little nostalgic. And I went back and listened to our very first episode.
Mm-hmm.
And in that first episode, you asked me what got me into true crime. And I always say there are a few things like books, stories people have told me, cases that we've obviously covered, Law and Order, Criminal Minds, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But listening back, I realized there was actually one thing I didn't say. There was a case that happened right here in Phoenix from 2005 to 2006. We were in high school, but this was prime time for my true crime obsession to flourish. And so for our 50th episode, I'm kind of doing my own listener story.
Ooh.
Because tonight I'm covering a case that I was completely obsessed with while it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm covering Phoenix's own baseline killer.
I love that. Yeah, you never covered that.
Mm-mm.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited.
Okay.
Dang, that's crazy to think 50 episodes later.
I
Because we
know.
talked about that in like the first episode.
I know. And it's like, it's been on my list to do, but it's never, like we were talking about, like it just never felt right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so tonight it felt right. We're in downtown Phoenix, so gotta do a Phoenix story.
I love it.
So to set the scene properly, we are going to be in Phoenix, Arizona in summer 2006. Now, the story of the baseline killer did actually start the year prior in early 2005, but during that time, it wasn't even clear that there was a serial anything happening. Crime was super high in Phoenix, so there were just these like strings of random crimes. They felt very all over the place and were so common that they didn't really get investigated too much. Cops just kind of chalked it up to the high crime rates, but there was one commonality amongst these. A lot of attacks were happening near Baseline Road. At the time, though, there wasn't enough evidence to definitively link all of these random crimes together. Phoenix is a big city, crime was already high, so for a while, these were just treated as separate, horrible things, but that were just things that were happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
By the time that summer 2006 rolled around, that started to change. The attacks were happening more often, the violence was escalating, and at that point, it was impossible to ignore that there had to be some connection between these seemingly random acts. And that's when the fear really started to set in, because it became clear Phoenix was dealing with a serial attacker. And what made it even scarier was how random his victims were. It had taken almost a full year for police to even realize that they were looking for somebody. What's even scarier is that they had actually caught him before.
Really?
Yes. So we're going to jump back to 1989.
Whoa.
Well before the baseline killings started, police were called to an apartment complex in Phoenix after a 20-year-old woman ran out into the parking lot completely naked and badly beaten. She was screaming for help. When officers reached her, she was shaking, bleeding, and in shock. She could barely talk, but eventually she managed to tell them what happened. She said a man had broken into her apartment and started attacking her. He beat her, he overpowered her, and during the assault, he grabbed her and started pulling her toward the bathroom. She later said that that was the moment she thought she was going to die. She believed if he had gotten her into the bathroom, that he was going to kill her. So she fought like fucking hell, and somehow she managed to get away. She ran out into the parking lot with no clothes on, screaming for help, which is where the police found her. She told them that the man was still inside her apartment. The officers go and knock on the door, and this is where we meet Mark Godot. Spoiler alert, he is now known as the baseline killer, but back in 1989, he was the man who had just brutally attacked this woman. So Mark answers the door like nothing was weird. He was calm. He even invited the cops inside. Inside the apartment is a nightmare. There's blood everywhere with clear signs of a struggle. Mark told the cops he had actually been invited over to this girl's apartment and that two men had broken in and attacked her.
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you're going to get into this, but was he like younger or older?
He was in his 20s
20s?
at that time in 1989.
Oh, okay. So it was like, someone randomly shot Speedy in 1981. What if it was him? You solved it. I solved it. I'm just kidding.
I mean, maybe.
Never know.
We don't. Everything is possible.
So many theories.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
I mean, he did love to shoot people, so. But he didn't shoot men. There was one man he did kill, but it was sort of like by happenstance. Like
on accident. He's like,
not on accident. It was wrong. The guy was wrong place, wrong time. He was going for the girl, and the guy happened to be in the car.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to get into all of the stories.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. So I'm going to go and I'll get to it, but there's going to be a lot of victims. But I'm going to have to focus on the victims that end up being pertinent to the case.
Mm-hmm.
And
that makes sense.
And no disrespect to the other victims. It's just, there's a lot. So,
yeah.
So Mark told the cops that he had actually been invited over to the girl's apartment and that two men had broken in and attacked her. Definitely wasn't him, the man covered in blood and defensive wounds standing.
He was like, I was just hiding in there. I don't know what happened.
I'm a victim too. So the police take 0 seconds to arrest him. And the charges are serious. Mark is facing sexual assault, kidnapping, aggravated assault, and attempted murder. And based on what this woman survived, you would think he would be held without question. But nope, he is granted bail. So he's being charged, but while he's waiting trial, he's released out into the public after he almost just killed a woman. Now, this is where our friend Wendy comes in. She's not our friend. This is Mark's girlfriend, and she is going to show up a lot. So Wendy stands by Mark completely. She's raising money for him, for his legal fees, advocating for him, telling people this isn't who he is, that he's...
What are you doing, Wendy?
It's real rough with
Very
Wendy.
pick me.
Yeah. Very Stockholm syndrome, I feel like. But she's saying he's friendly Mark, that he would never do something like this. And what is wild is people start to believe her. Neighbors start defending him. People who know him are like, no, not Mark. He's a nice guy. Which is terrifying because they literally caught him red-handed.
Yeah.
So now Mark does eventually go to trial for these charges, and he is convicted. He is sentenced to 21 years in prison. Guess how many he serves?
Barely any of it.
He serves 13 years, a little over 13 years. So
crazy.
Still not the full, but not as bad as we've heard in the past of like, they were supposed to like be in life and they actually serve like 3.
They're like, good behavior. He's fine.
Yeah. But
he's not manipulating us.
Yeah. Literally. Like, so Wendy is loyal and she stays with him while he's in prison. She visits him constantly. She even marries him while he's incarcerated. She becomes his biggest supporter, and she starts to build this whole narrative that he's changed, that he's not that person anymore. And something she uses to push this narrative is drugs. Mark Godot was a heavy drug user. So Wendy starts framing this whole thing as he is a recovering drug addict and blamed his history of violence on weakness for crack cocaine. So you've got this situation where the state is looking at him and saying, okay, he's been in prison, like he's done what we've said he should do. He went to prison.
Yeah.
He's behaved himself, like you said. He's been a
good behavior.
Yeah. And he is rehabilitated now. He's off drugs. He's gotten clean. He's got someone advocating for him, and he's got a plan to live a healthy and happy life outside of prison. So in 2004, after serving 13 and a half years, Mark Godot is released on parole. So when Mark gets out in 2004, Phoenix is already dealing with a lot. Like I said, crime rates are incredibly high. The city is overwhelmed. They don't have enough cops. And by 2005, there are multiple things happening at once that make it hard to see the bigger picture of what all is going on in Phoenix. So I don't know if you remember this, but also at this time, there were these random car shootings.
I do remember that.
And there were it was basically like a car driving around and just shooting people, like willy-nilly. And it was terrifying because it was literally so random. Like random is going to be a big component of why this went on for as long as it did. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time of these random car shootings, you've got this separate pattern starting to form. There are robberies, sexual assaults, and attacks that feel random, but all keep happening along Baseline Road. None of this gets connected because honestly, they don't even know how to connect it all. They're just trying to keep up with getting the victims solved, and they don't understand the patterns that are happening. Other thing is, again, random is going to be a big theme here, is the victims don't all look the same. The crimes don't all look the same. Some are sexual assaults, some are robberies, some involve guns, some don't. It's really crazy. Mm-hmm. So early on, these are just treated as individual crimes that are horrible, but they can't link or distinguish who are the car shooters, who are the baseline attacks, what is what, who's who. It's just literally a jumbled mess. Mm-hmm. But in 2006, the cops kind of get a break because they arrest Dale Sean Hausner and Samuel John Dietman. These are the guys behind the random drive-by shootings that had been happening all over Phoenix. And this is huge news because these shootings had been absolutely terrorizing the city. People were getting shot while sitting in their cars, pumping gas, walking down the street. It was awful. So when police finally identify and arrest these two, it feels like a massive step forward for the city. They're able to say, okay, these shootings, these were these guys. Mm-hmm. We're able to identify and prosecute, which is a huge relief. But now they have that figured out. But they are also realizing the violence along Baseline isn't stopping, and it's been going on longer than they thought. So now the police are left with this realization. Okay, we solved one huge piece of this, but something else is going on. And that's when it becomes clear that Phoenix wasn't dealing with just one serial attacker. It is dealing with multiple predators at the same time. And for investigators, that made everything exponentially harder because they had spent months trying to untangle which crimes belonged to the shooters and which ones didn't. But they didn't realize they also had to untangle these baseline attacks. So now everything's like it's like sitting in a pile of the shooters, not shooters. Now they have to go back and figure out baseline. Mm-hmm. All while they still have a huge crime problem still happening in the city. So it's not like this is the only thing that they're focused on. Mm-hmm. Okay, so once investigators start going back through the early baseline cases, there's one attack that immediately stands out to them because it is one of the most horrifying things in this entire timeline. And it happens really before the murders even begin. In September 2005, two sisters, both in their 20s, are walking near a park late at night. One of them is 6 months pregnant. A man approaches them with a gun. He forces them off the path and into the bushes, and he attacks them. At some point during the assault, he sets the gun down. I can only imagine what he was doing that he needed to set the gun down.
Yeah.
And this is the part that literally gives me chills every time. One of the sisters grabs the gun and tries to shoot him, but the gun jams.
Oh.
I know. The other sister then grabs the gun and tries to fire. It jams again.
Oh my God.
So now we know it's Mark, so I'm just going to call him Mark. Mark is panicking. He's furious, and he attacks the girls to get the gun back. He starts threatening them, and at one point he presses the gun between the pregnant sister's legs and forces her to beg for the life of her baby. Then, suddenly, he's like aware of what's going on. Like he realizes what he's done and what evidence he might leave behind. So he forces the girls to do something degrading and cruel. He makes them spit on themselves and dig into the dirt to rub mud on their bodies, thinking this will get rid of any DNA evidence he might have left behind. And then he leaves. Both sisters survive. At the time, this case was investigated as an extremely violent sexual assault with no known suspect. But when investigators later reviewed it alongside the other attacks along Baseline Road, it became clear this was one of the very earliest incidents in what will be a long line of terror. Later that same month, September 2005, they tie the first actual murder to the Baseline killer. Her name was Georgia Thompson. Georgia was just 19 years old. She worked as an exotic dancer, and on the night she was killed, she had gone out with a friend after work, just grabbing a drink, doing something totally normal. At some point that night, she drove back to her apartment, but she never made it inside. A neighbor later told police they heard a woman screaming, followed by a gunshot. When officers arrived, they found Georgia lying just feet from her front door. She had been shot point blank in the head. She was also found with her pants unzipped, but she had not been sexually assaulted. At the time she was killed, Georgia's case didn't immediately get linked to anything else. It was treated as its own tragedy. But looking back, investigators realized Georgia wasn't an isolated incident. She was the first clear escalation. Because after Georgia, the attacks don't slow down, they got worse. When police start looking at what comes next, the next case that stands out to them is Tina Washington. Tina was a preschool teacher, and her murder happened in November 2005. She was waiting at a bus stop when a man approached her and forced her behind a nearby building. What makes Tina's case especially disturbing is just how fast it happened. Someone inside a nearby business heard something, opened a back door, and was immediately staring down the barrel of a gun. So he heard them opening the door and pointed the gun at the door. Mm-hmm. The guy closed the door, called the police, but by the time the officers arrived, Tina was dead. When investigators look at Tina's case next to Georgia's, the pattern becomes harder to ignore. It's the same general area, same MO. She's shot with a gun, her pants were unzipped, and there was no sexual assault. After Tina Washington, the picture gets even darker. Investigators keep moving forward through the timeline, and the next case doesn't just confirm a pattern, it completely changes the scale of what they are dealing with. In February 2006, police respond to a call involving a food truck. 2 women worked that truck together. They were partners and they were friends. One of them was a mother of 6 children, including 4-month-old twins. The other was a mother of 5. They were well known in the area, so regulars noticed when they hadn't opened. It was unusual, so someone went to check on them. Inside the food truck, both women had been shot. They were still alive when they were found. The person who discovered them tried to help, tried to perform CPR, and by the time the police arrived, he was covered in blood. The way that they describe this is he put everything into trying to save these 2 women. But both women had died from their injuries. So now what investigators are looking at is a killer who is not afraid of killing multiple victims at once. He is not afraid of daytime violence, and he is not afraid of public spaces. So that means
scary.
It's so scary.
Yeah.
Like, now they're dealing with someone who is getting more comfortable and more dangerous. At this point, this isn't something police are quietly working on behind the scenes. This is something the city now knows about. The media coverage explodes, and I am telling you, I remember this. It was everywhere. They'd have regular updates on the news. They had billboards with sketches because those 3 deaths weren't his only attacks. There were people coming forward saying he had tried to attack them and survivors who had escaped. And like, I remember even one of our like bonus episodes, I told you the story about the guy tapping on her window.
I do remember that.
And then she sees a sketch on the TV and it was the baseline killer.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, there were sightings of him everywhere. So it was mayhem. I am going to tell you just a quick little aside of how clearly I remember this going on. So I remember all of this happening, like literally every night the news had it was like the baseline killer corner of, they would give an update on where they were with the case because it just seemed like something new was happening every day.
Yeah.
And I was so freaked out by this. Like, my school got shut down one day because they thought they had a sighting of him nearby. And I was so freaked out. I slept with a hammer under my pillow. And I remember one night on the news, they were like, we've got like a new clue of like what he does to get people to answer the door, because like he would also break into people's houses.
Yeah.
And they were like, somebody will knock on your door and then they'll start like banging on your door. And so it was like a weekend day, like nobody was home, and my bedroom was right above the front door of our house. So I have my hammer under my pillow, but I remember somebody knocking on the door and then like banging on the door. I'm not even like, it was insane. And I was like, that's what they said.
Nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
Unless it's an emergency, which clearly, no.
And so I was like, they said that on the news. And then also I could hear the way my bedroom was positioned in the house, I could also hear the garage and the door that would go, not only the garage door, but the door that led from the garage to the house. I could hear from my bedroom. And I just remember hearing the garage door open and then hearing the door that led into our house open. And I was like, somebody is in my house. So I grabbed my hammer and I just start walking down the stairs, and we had like the upstairs, and then we also had like a small basement, and the stairs kind of met in the middle. And so I have my hammer and my dad comes around the corner. And I was like, Dad, somebody was at the door. And I was freaked out. I have not seen my dad move that fast. He ran out the front door and was like searching, like trying to see if anybody was out there. It was so scary. Like,
there's something. So, sorry, kind of like a sidetrack. There's something so unsettling about a knocking door, but like consistent, and they don't go away. Like, my hyperfixation the last like few weeks is watching someone play horror video games, that's a concept that comes up a lot, is the knocking.
Yeah.
And you have to like answer the door. I'm like, no,
don't do it.
I know. But there's just something so creepy about it. But then going from knocking to banging the door and then fitting the same theme that the baseline killer has been. I mean,
they literally said it on the news. Like, if somebody does this at your house, it is something he has been doing. Like,
yeah. And that's East Valley.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. And like I said, I remember like my school getting shut down. I remember my friend Ashley being in town one time and like we were walking. I feel like my dad was like very protective over me during this time because of how random it was and like the girl.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I remember walking one time, my friend Ashley was visiting and we were walking around my neighborhood and I was like telling her about this active serial killer and she's like, why are you telling me this all excited? Which like goes back to like, this was my original like
it's scary as fuck.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of like,
oh, it's happening in my backyard.
It's like it's around here.
Yeah, like it's real.
It happened to me.
It's true.
I get it.
And I remember like the billboards, like driving down, like even on like the 202, like I remember those.
It's really funny because Colleen and I grew up like literally a street apart, basically.
Yeah.
Like on the other side of the freeway, same area. I don't remember anything about the baseline killer, but my parents never have the news on. So I almost feel like we're probably oblivious to it, which is like not a good thing. But
well, I also think that like I probably was watching the news at an age, like especially like those segments, probably too young.
Maybe.
Like nobody was supervising me.
You're like, oh my god, what is he gonna do next?
I gotta get my 5 o'clock baseline killer update. But anyway, so yeah, hammer under the pillow, that was my thing. I also had a really mean cat that we used to joke about that if anybody was going to catch the baseline killer, Juliet, yeah. She'd
fuck shit up.
Yeah. She'd get the $100,000 reward. She was a mean cat. I loved that cat. Okay. So while the city is panicking and while people like me are sleeping with a hammer under our pillows, the police were narrowing in. So by this point, investigators are no longer trying to figure out if these crimes are connected. They know that they are. Now they're trying to answer the scariest question, which is how many times has this already happened? When they lay everything out, the scale is staggering. By the time they start to close in on a suspect, they have linked the baseline killer to 9 murders, 15 sexual assaults, 12 armed robberies, 11 kidnappings, and 14 aggravated assaults. Just to put this into perspective, Phoenix called this time the Summer of Fear, which is also what they called the reign that Son of Sam had in New York. Do you know who Son of Sam is? He was also a random shooter, but he's, in my opinion, the basic bitch of serial killers. I hate him. I hate him. And not out of like a hate out of respect. I hate out of, I think he's a basic bitch.
He sounds like one.
But Sam. New York lost its ever-loving mind over Son of Sam, who killed 6 people. The baseline killer had killed and attacked more, and it happened right here in Phoenix, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
So let's narrow down how the police actually gonna catch this guy. So they have committed to the fact that they are dealing with one person, and they start stripping the case down to fundamentals. First is geography. Almost every attack, the assaults, robberies, and shootings keep pointing back to the same area, same neighborhoods, that same stretch of the city along Baseline Road. Then they also identify behavior. Even though the crimes look different on the surface, there are repeating details. The use of a gun for control. There is a lack of sexual assault in some cases, paired with the humiliation of posing them as if they had been assaulted, which also may have said that he might have not been able to perform, but he wanted to perform.
Like he wanted it to look like he did that.
He wanted it to look worse than it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moron.
Scumbag. And then also there's this fact that he's comfortable with getting close. So like he's infiltrating their space. And it's not like long range shots. They're getting killed like close to, like they're getting shot very close to them. And then we also have the survivors, and this is huge. So several victims survive their attacks, and while none of them know his name, they describe the same kind of man. They say that he was not flashy, he didn't seem strange, he wasn't someone who really stood out, he was just normal by all means. He didn't raise alarms, and he could walk right up to you. So from there, police start narrowing down their focus to men who live or operate in that area, and that would have violent criminal histories and who have been free during this exact window of time. And that's when one name starts checking every box: Mark Godot. He lives in Phoenix. He has a documented history of extreme violence. He was released from prison in 2004, just before the baseline attacks begin. And he also has no solid explanation for where he's been during several of the attacks. And here's the part we cannot gloss over. So remember the two sisters?
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't only one of the earliest, most horrifying moments in the whole timeline. It was one of the most important pieces of this case. And I really want to talk about this as how important it was, because they did survive, but they reported it. They went through the exam, evidence was collected, and it didn't magically solve the case overnight, but it mattered that it existed. And how scary that must have been for these two girls after that horrifying attack, to then have the strength to go and report it.
Mm-hmm.
And that the exams are not exactly easy. They're invasive and scary. And so just commending these girls for the bravery that they had to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So when detectives finally start pulling these baseline cases into the same orbit and pushing them through the same pipeline as if they're all connected, that evidence of the two girls was sitting there like a receipt. When the lab work finally comes back, it all points to Mark. It is not a maybe. It's not a vibe that they were getting. It is a hard link that law enforcement can take to a judge and say, we got him. By September 2006, Mark Godot was arrested. Once Mark is arrested, police want to ensure this case is air fucking tight. They double check everything, every timeline, every location, every survivor's statement. They re-interview people who lived, who are open to being re-interviewed. They also handle this so beautifully, like they're not going to re-traumatize these people. Mm-hmm. They retrace every movement. They line his schedule up against the attacks and make sure it still fits the way it did the first time. And it does, again and again. They continue to test. This was a man who terrorized an entire city for a year, and they want a case so solid there are no gaps to poke at, no questions left unanswered, no room for doubt. Anything that could be verified gets verified. Anything that could be matched gets matched. By the time they are done, everything they already believed is reinforced and the picture is complete. But of course, there's still one person who refuses to accept it.
Mark?
Wendy.
Oh, I forgot about Wendy. She's still around?
She's still there, still defending him. She is insisting
she's like, no way.
No way.
No fiction.
She's like, she continues to say that he is innocent. But they have they can, if anything, they're now just like,
they're like
Wendy.
holding up the evidence to her face. She's like, no. I need more.
Yeah.
It's not him.
Prove it. But Wendy was a ride or die, which I respect the loyalty, don't respect the loyalty to who she's giving it to.
Yeah, Wendy sounds like a dumbass.
Okay, so now everything turns towards the court. This is not a short, clean trial. This is a massive prosecution built on a year of terror. By the time it goes to court, the case against Mark Godot spans dozens of charges across multiple victims, multiple crime scenes, and multiple years. Prosecutors don't present this as one bad stretch or one wrong turn. They lay it out exactly as it was. It was a sustained pattern of violence that escalated because it was allowed to continue. Survivors testify, experts testify, investigators walk the jury through how these crimes unfolded, how they overlapped, and how they point back to the same man again and again. And critically, the evidence from the sisters' attack is part of that foundation. Not the only piece, but one of the clearest early anchors in the case. Proof that this was not a theory, it was documented, preserved, and now undeniable. So basically, like, again, their bravery was critical in putting this man away. Mark's defense tries to poke holes where they can. They try to argue contamination. They say that they're overreaching, that they're searching for a solution when Mark really wasn't it, that there were mistaken connections. But the problem with all of that is the police have no loose threads. Everything prosecutors put forward has been checked, rechecked, and backed up. And through all of this, Wendy is still there. She sits behind him in court. She maintains his innocence. She insists the system has it wrong. But the jury does not see a misunderstood man. They see a timeline. They see escalation. They see victims who never met each other describing the same kind of fear. They are describing Mark. And when the verdict comes back, it is not even close. Mark Godot was sentenced to death for the murders, along with multiple life sentences for the dozens of other crimes he committed during Phoenix's summer of fear. And at sentencing, the court doesn't frame this as a punishment for a few crimes. They frame it as protection. Because what the evidence shows clearly is that when Mark Godot is free, people get hurt. And that's how Phoenix's summer of fear finally ends. As of now, Mark remains on Arizona's death row, where he's been since 2011. After being sentenced to death for multiple murders connected to the Baseline Killer case, he has not been executed, and he is still incarcerated in the Arizona Department of Corrections.
He's still alive?
He's still alive. He's still on death row.
Dang.
Yeah.
So what's the point of death row if they don't actually, like, is there a law now that, like, they can't?
No, it's sometimes, like, they have a lot of people on death row, so it's a matter of, like...
They're like, you'll get there.
It's, like...
one way or another.
Literally, like, you're waiting in line to die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then sometimes they do a lot of, like you can... I don't know the right phrase. You basically can object your... Like, you can keep fighting it, which pushes off your death sentence, too.
Oh.
I don't know if that's what he's doing, I'm sure, because Wendy's probably...
So Wendy's still around?
Wendy's still around.
Do you know what she's up to, like, today?
Probably just sitting and waiting for Mark.
Like, how do you have time for that?
Yeah.
Like, what jobs do these people have?
Yeah. But, like, this one is so crazy to me because I feel like not a lot of people talk about it. But, like, people talk about, like, Son of Sam and, like, all this stuff. But, like, he literally was flying under the radar. And he there's probably more that we don't know about. But
yeah.
It was insane. And, yeah, that was my...
Well, I mean, in a way, I'm kind of glad it didn't blow up because he's probably like, son of a bitch. Because you know how they get those big egos? Like the killers get these big egos that they're like, oh, look, I'm on the news. Oh, they're making like this article about me or whatever. It's like, he had his time during when it was happening, but now nobody knows. Yeah. Unless it was newer podcast.
Yeah. And I'm just telling it from like, I was just like enthralled.
You experienced part of it.
Yeah.
Well, that was a crazy story. Thanks. I'm glad you did it.
Thanks.
Because I know you were going to tell it and you didn't. And you're like, it was just not the right time. But it's perfect for our 50th episode.
Thanks.
I loved it. I feel like I don't want this episode to end.
I know.
I feel like I didn't say enough. But it really is exciting that it's our 50th episode. Because we kind of just started this not knowing where it would go.
Yeah.
And we love doing it. It's really fun for us. We're always looking for new things to do. And I mean, literally doing anything right now. We're at Hanny's.
Yeah.
Having a drink and doing our 50th episode with creepy dolls down below, which we're going to visit after this.
Yes.
And we'll take some footage and we'll put it on social media for you guys.
So thank you guys if you've been here with us from episode 1 or episode whatever. But thank you for listening. Please make sure to rate, review, and subscribe if you can. Helps us out a ton. And yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget to look us up on social media, interact with us. We like hearing from people, kind of like the live shows like we're talking about. Like we like hearing from people, whether it's in person or online. If you have a story to tell us, or if you just want to talk about how much you liked one of our stories, you can email us at
igsttystories@gmail.com. And also, guys, I think some people are nervous that we're going to like say their name or something. Like if you don't want us to say your name on the podcast and you have a story to tell us, like just shoot it over to us and tell us, like, don't say my name. We'll respect your privacy.
We will always ask you first. We will never put something on the podcast just because you told us.
Yeah.
So yeah, there will always be an agreement. If you just want to tell us and have a moment, I'll love that too. I always love hearing a story.
Yes.
But yeah, so you can email us or you can send a DM or comment on social media
at IGSTTYpod. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Also, there's been on YouTube. I know there's people listening on YouTube, so shout out to YouTube. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
I feel like that one doesn't get enough love, but like our Instagram and TikTok, we're always on it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening since day 1. And yeah.
We appreciate you.
Bye.
Later.